The Atari Jaguar is known as one of the bigger classic console failures of the 90s. It is often misunderstood. It did have lots of bad games released on it. However, it is fun to collect. There is a thriving homebrew community and support. And so I love collecting this obscure and oddball classic console. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my licensed cartridge collection of 50 games, complete in box, as well as some of the homebrew games I've picked up over the years. I hope you enjoy. So here it is, my Atari Jaguar cart collection. I'm going to be doing the Atari Jaguar CD collection in another video in the future. I've been collecting the Atari Jaguar for about 20 years. I got my first Atari Jaguar in the late 90s when they were clearancing them out at KB Toys. And so this is my collection that I've collected over the years. And I'm going to start with, the Atari Jaguar had 50 licensed games. There was lots of homebrews. I'm going to do my best to cover as much as possible in this video. I would like to thank the Atari Age Jaguar community for clarifying what was considered official licensed games, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So here are my two consoles that I have. One came packaged with Cybermorph, the first version of it, the 2 megabyte version that has more voices and a little variations in it versus the later release, which is a stripped down version. I have a controller here that I got at KB Toys. I kept the sticker on. I love stickers, especially from brick and mortar places that are gone. So there you go. And this is the Jaguar that I have that is just the unit, the base unit. They took the game out of it. I don't know where I got the Jaguar banner, but I've had it in my collection a long time. It has a little bit of damage. I had it displayed for many years and then I took it down. It's now in storage. I'm going to talk about some of the hardware here. This is a third Jaguar that I have. This is the one I use a lot with capturing footage in my YouTube videos. I have an S-video cable. I also have an HD Retrovision Super Nintendo component cable with an adapter that I purchased off eBay, and I use that to capture footage on the Jaguar. That's a 3-button controller that I use. These are aftermarket Pro controllers. I don't have an official Pro controller. These were purchased from Atari Age. They work pretty good. There's some games that have features that the Pro controller, the 6-button controllers, offer. This is a recent acquisition, and this is a spinner controller for Tempest 2000, and it makes the game fantastic to play. I have a couple other hardware pieces in my collection. The Jag Link, and that is for Doom. Doom is one of the only System Link games with the Jag Link compatible. And the Team Tap, there's one of two games that you can use that. I have two Team Taps, White Man Can't Jump and NBA Jam Tournament Edition are the games that utilize this. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the released Jaguar games licensed. So this is there's 50 games considered in the set, and I'm going to go over what was released. Air Cars is probably one of the harder ones to get, and citing information online, there was 300 released copies through mail, and it did not come with a box. It's one of the last releases for the system, one of the last ones. It came with a 20-page manual and an insert and the actual cart. So this is pretty hard to get. Next up, considered one of the better games, I think, for the console, Alien vs. Predator. It has the Doom style graphics. I really like this game. Does it hold up? I don't think so, but I think it really showed what the console was capable of back in the day. Atari Karts is actually another decent title. If you like Mario Kart style games, this is Atari's version for its console. Attack of the Mutant Penguins. Another solid title for the Jaguar. You know, the Jaguar had a lot of stinkers on it, but this is actually some of the better titles that I would say for the console. Breakout 2000. Brutal Sports Football. You know, going to many conventions, you saw a lot of copies of this in the mid 2000s, and so I don't know if there was a surplus of them, but it's one of the easier titles to acquire on the Jaguar. Not the best game. Bubsy, not a good game at all. I'm not a fan. Cannon Fodder. This is actually a decent game. It's also on the Mega Drive. Checkered Flag, Club Drive. Cybermorph. Now this box copy is the stripped down version of Cybermorph. Has less voice work in it. Defender 2000. Doom. Double Dragon 5. Dragon. Dino Dudes. Fever Pitch Soccer. One of the last releases for the Jaguar, Fight for Life. I am not a fan of this game whatsoever. It's just a terrible, terrible fighting game. Flashback, excellent port. Flip Out, Hover Strike, iWar, Sensible Soccer, International Sensible Soccer. Now, these next two titles, Iron Soldier 1 and 2. Iron Soldier 1 is a fairly affordable, decent mech game for the Jaguar, and its sequel, which builds upon the first one. You can get Iron Soldier 2 at a couple places. It was and is still available at Telegames UK. You can also get it at Songbird Productions, is a US seller of some of the Telegames games. But the first one, actually, if you're looking for a very affordable game, really the first one is a good place to start. Kasumi Ninja is, you know, it's a fighting game for the Jaguar. The Jaguar had a few games, you know, Fight for Life being the other one, and Ultra Vortec being the other one. I actually like Kasumi Ninja. It's funny, it doesn't hold up, but nevertheless, it is an exclusive for the Jaguar. Missile Command 3D, pretty decent game. Many people like the 3D aspects that they add to a standard Missile Command. I like it. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, one of the better ports of the arcade game to home. Pinball Fantasies, Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. Power Drive Rally, actually the last box I needed for my Jaguar set. Pretty hard to get. This is actually a sealed copy from Walmart that I was able to pick up aftermarket. Raiden, a great two-player version of the classic arcade game, and Rayman. And so I would say probably of the licensed games that came out for the Jaguar, there's probably about 20 or so that are decent and worth revisiting. These are some of them. Ruiner Pinball, decent pinball game. Of the two pinball games for the Jaguar, this one's considered better. Super Burnout, and you know, this is kind of a hidden gem of the Atari Jaguar. A lot of people like this game. It kind of has that hang-on feel to it. A lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out. Supercross 3D, Syndicate. I have the original Electronics Boutique. So Jaguar games were sold at Electronics Boutique, and this one was clearance down to $10. Now, of the Jaguar games, this is probably top 5 for the library. Tempest 2000, awesome game, has lots of nice features in it. Tempest 2000 is an excellent choice if you're looking to jump into the Jaguar. This is a must pick up. Theme Park, and one of the only RPGs for the cartridge-based Jaguar, Towers 2. And this was a Telegames release. My box is a little bit beat up, but I'm just happy to have this. This is a pretty expensive title to pick up these days. Jaguar had a lot of stinkers on it, and Trevor McFur is a good example of a game that just isn't any good. Troy Aikman football is an unnecessary football game on the Jaguar. It's just one of those examples. You know, these games are the examples of, you know, what people picked up and played expecting next gen games, and they got these inferior ports, or they got these games that just weren't that good, and people just, the word spread about the Jaguar having problems producing quality games. Unfortunately, you know, it has some good games on it, but games like this did not help the library out. Ultra Vortec, there are fans of this game. It is a Jaguar exclusive. It's definitely kind of it's the Mortal Kombat for the Jaguar. Skiing and snowboarding. White Man Can't Jump. It's sealed with the Team Tap. Alright, Wolfenstein 3D. Actually, I like this better than Doom. Doom is good on the Jaguar. You know, it's not a perfect port, but the Wolfenstein 3D is considered one of the best, you know, first-person shooters on the Jaguar. I like it. A lot of fun. Well done. Worms. This is a Telegames release. One of the last game released on the console. Telegames released, I think, you know, half a dozen games on the Jaguar and Jaguar CD. And this is the very last one. 05, Zool 2, and Zoop. And that wraps up the 50 games released for the Atari Jaguar license. Now, you're probably saying, wait, what about Battlesphere? I have Battlesphere, but it's considered a homebrew. And this was a discussion I had with the Atari Age community. And so I do have some homebrews. I don't have all of them. Homebrews come out, and I really think that's the strength of the Atari Jaguar. There's ongoing homebrews and ports always coming out. I've covered some of these on my channel, others I have not. Aircars, there's a better version of Aircars that was released, and this is the KA edition. And it came, I think there was 100 copies made, and then later on they released more copies of that. So this is the first run of 100 copies of Aircars KA edition. Another World. This was an amazing release of Out of This World on the Jaguar. Very, very sought after homebrew, pretty hard to get. And there it is, Battlesphere. Now I have the original version of Battlesphere, which came out in 2000. It came out in early 2000, and there was a better version of it, Battlesphere Gold, and it had a lot of additional features. I just have the original copy, but I'm thankful to have it. This is not considered part of the Atari Jaguar license set. Pretty much this came out after the Jaguar was discontinued. But it is a fantastic game. It is considered the best on the library, so any copy you can get of this is great. Gauntlet 2, well done. Atari ST port. There's a lot of Atari ST ports on the Jaguar. Some have been put on cartridge, others have not. The Possible, I talked about this on my channel. JHL 15 conversion. Jeff Mentor's Lamatron. Amazing game. Has a hidden game in it as well. This is an Atari Age pickup. Protector Special Edition. This is better than the Defender 2000. So if you like Defender style games, the Protector Special Edition, you can get this at Songbird Productions or Atari Age. Star Wars, I covered this on my channel. This is an arcade port of it from the ST with additional arcade sound. Pretty sweet. Total Carnage and Xenon 2. This kind of wraps up kind of my homebrews and ports that I have. I'd like to get more. It's just they're expensive, you know, and this is something I picked up a little bit over time. And that is my Jaguar collection. So there you have it. The Atari Jaguar CD add-on will be a future video. I'm still picking up a few boxes for that, and so I didn't want to show it in this video yet. I'm still collecting it. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. I had a lot of fun sharing this video, and I have done many other complete collections. I have a separate playlist in my channel. I want to thank again all the support of my channel. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. You take care.